You get asked a lot of the same questions, I guess. Will Paul and Stevie watch the film? And I said, well, I can say categorically that 50% of them won't watch the film.
Jim Hosking is a British film director known for his distinctive yet indefinable style. His films feature absurd comedy, eccentric characters, and often downright shocking visuals, but under the strange surface are intricate and emotional stories about human beings and our lives. We caught up with Jim to talk about his latest project, Ebony and Ivory, at the Nickel Cinema in Clerkenwell, London. Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Talk About? I'm Ben, this is Jim.
Hello.
Jim, what do you want to talk about?
Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol.
Okay, I love how you had to say in Bristol rather than all the other...
Most people don't know where it is, I think.
That's true. Talk to me about Clifton Suspension Bridge. What draws you to it as a subject?
Well, I didn't realise I had to pick a subject until about 2 minutes ago, but I went to university in Bristol, so I suppose it suddenly came to mind. I lived in Lee Woods on the other side of the suspension bridge. It was an old mansion that was owned by Will's cigarette company in the University Botanical Gardens.
Wow.
The other people who lived in the house, it was all male. They used to gather around a communal TV watching pornography on VHS. It was really depressing. But some of them would walk home over the top of the suspension bridge.
As in
all the way up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was kind of I guess that's why I suddenly thought about it. But I do remember cycling across it one night quite drunk and falling asleep on my bike and crashing on it. And, people would jump off quite regularly. You'd hear about someone who jumped off the bridge and then landed in the mud and his legs got stuck and he didn't die or whatever.
There's the story of the woman, apparently, I don't know if this is a lie, but I'm going to tell it like it's the truth and just hope for the best. There's the story of the woman that jumped off but was wearing I think it was in Victorian times.
Oh, like a parachute.
Yeah, and it sort of ballooned out and saved her.
She went upwards.
Yeah, that's the origin of the Bristol Balloon Festival, actually.
Is it?
Is her getting
that
caught in the wind.
festival that we love so much.
Yes.
I've never been there.
It's actually a bleak and horrible story.
Yeah, what do you expect? Is it filled with questionable men making balloon animals?
What was your experience of university like? What did you study?
I did Spanish and history of art. I was very unproductive. I used to go record shopping all the time. That was my main memory of it. There was a really sort of fascistic record shop owner at Revolver Records in Bristol. I'm sure that's defunct for years, but everything that we tried to buy, he'd tell us it was rubbish and that we were idiots. He made me buy an old jazz record by someone called Jimmy the Cat Smith. Do you know that?
I don't.
Guy? So you might want to look that up.
Okay.
It's a good record.
Is it?
Yeah.
Would you say his...
Well, maybe it's Jimmy Smith and the record is The Cat, but I think it's got a cat on it and he was quite an amazing keyboardist. So anyway, I've come very serious about Revolver Records.
About Jimmy the Cat Smith.
There was Rival Records. This is totally boring.
I think Bristol was such an interesting... Because I lived there I did my A-levels there. Even then, it's sort of the culture of the place, the essence of it. That sounds really wanky, but I've lived in loads of different places and there are very few places like Bristol.
That it has a defined identity.
It's defined identity, but it's just sort of this sort of
Is this a Bristol programme?
Yeah, it is. I'm in the pocket of Big Bristol, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're sponsoring us.
Okay.
I guess we should probably talk about Ebony and Ivory.
What is Ebony and Ivory?
Well, that's the question I was going to ask you.
Okay. It's a film I've made, yeah.
Okay, great. For people that don't know what it's about, do you want to give us a tiny little rundown of it?
Well, it's called Ebony and Ivory because there's a song called Ebony and Ivory by Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder, but if you were to then imagine that this was some kind of biopic, you'd be wrong.
I am here because we are both musical legends! Forget musical legend, I'm talking genius!
Everything that I've ever made, it comes from an image of something like a haircut or, whatever, and then that will just sort of like spawn something else. So with this, I just thought about Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder. I asked a few people who, I know, I guess like kind of in the field that I'm in, and they also don't do that. That's like a red rag to a bull. So then I just thought, okay, I will. And it just felt funny to me,
Let me guide you through the world of vegetarian ready meals, baby girl, as I hold you tightly in my big old veggie wedgie arms. Hey guys, don't forget the vegetarian schnitzels.
Like the second film I made, which is called An Evening with Beverly Loughlin, that started with an image that I saw of Ving Rhames, the actor, where he had this sort of kind of Lord Farquaad haircut. And then I thought about this kind of mysterious character who was, you know, maybe at the beginning he was kind of like an Eckhart Tolle type person until I wasn't very interested. Then I turned him into like a Scottish folk singer. You know, it starts from there, but it becomes something else. He ended up having a completely different haircut because the guy who played him in the film, who's an actor called Craig Robinson, he just didn't feel comfortable wearing that wig. So, you know, it's the genesis for the film is no longer there, but it's the seed that the oak tree sprung up from.
Thank you, Lord Farquaad.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Good luck, everyone.
I'm not like a sort of particularly structured person. I mean, I have a little office at home and I do sit there and I write stuff and whatever, but I'm not like Nick Cave where I go in 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and put a suit on and like write feverishly. It's just, it feels too hard work. I mean, this I guess I started doing in COVID, and all I remember about COVID was everybody sort of saying to me, like my agents and whoever, said, well, the business is completely shut down. There's no point doing any work. And I didn't really sort of think, oh yeah, but I write things, so I can write something now, and then when the business starts to sort of like kick back into gear, I'll have something ready. I just sort of thought, oh yeah, there's no point doing any work. The business is shut down.
Yeah.
So for a year and a half, I'm just, you know, watching TV, and I was going running a lot, and I don't think I did any work for about 18 months. But finally, I did write this script, and I think after having spoken to people and people saying don't do it, and being sort of stuck at home quite a lot, I just sat down and wrote it very quickly. I probably wrote the first draft in about 6 days or something.
Was it a fun shoot? Because it looks like...
It was, yeah. It was fun because I'm just completely doing what I want to do. I kind of realised when I was editing the film that I hadn't thought once about how anyone else might react to this film. But as far as what anyone thinks, I mean, I genuinely couldn't give a shit.
Which is quite a nice place to be in.
Well, I just think that's the only headset you should have when you're making stuff, is like the only gauge. I have no idea why anyone else likes what they like. I don't understand it. I can only understand if I like something. And one thing I've understood is that if I like something, a lot of people don't. But then there are people who do, you know, and they seem to really like it. But you just got to follow your gut. I mean, I want people to enjoy it.
Sure.
Like, you know, I'm not sort of oppositional in that way, and I don't enjoy, you know, there was I've referred to it now a couple of times. It's only because I did an interview with the Sydney Morning Herald, and it started with this guy, the guy was smirking over Zoom, and he said, have you read the review in the New York Times? And I said, no, I don't read reviews. And he said, oh, well, it says. And I said, well, I don't read reviews. And then he said, it says it's singularly annoying. And then I was like, well, thanks for that. That'll be in my head all day now.
That's
and actually,
so mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, in a way, it's, you know, singularly annoying to one person is like, you know, delightfully enchanting to another.
That's also kind of a badge of honor, I think. I'd quite like to be I know I'm annoying, but to be singularly annoying, you know, like uniquely so of note.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, and it's one person's opinion, you know, you've never met that person, whatever. I mean, I got, like, Greasy Strangler, the first film I did, was reviewed 3 times in the Guardian and The Observer, and it went from 4 stars at Sundance to 3 stars with Peter Bradshaw, and then The Observer review, I got a call from my producer saying, you've got to look at The Observer review, it's amazing. And I was thinking, fuck, have they given it 5 stars? And then I looked and there were 0 stars, and I thought, like, I've never seen anything with 0 stars in... I thought they had forgotten to fill in one of the stars, you know, like a typo. How do I is there a contact page on the Guardian website so I can inform them there's been a printing error?